Hi everyone, let me introduce myself to those who do not know me. I am Ashnat Kothari, a qualified fellow actuary. I am the founder and director of Finatics. Finatics is involved in providing classes for actuarial exams, placement assistance, along with plenty of other services which a student needs at different phases in their journey to become a qualified fellow actuary. I have been professionally teaching actuarial science for the past 8 years, having mentored students not only from all parts of India but from across the globe. Now, coming back to the much awaited announcement, the reason why you are here, we are extending an opportunity for students who have not studied with us to join our classes, get mentored by us for the preparation of actuarial exams by paying zero tuition fees at outset. Yes, you heard it right. Zero tuition fees at outset. This is valid for classes of CM1, CM2, CS1 and CS2, whether you are appearing from IFOA or IAI. Ones who would be joining us for the first time can see how we go about with our classes, the educational content we provide, the doubt clearing facility we provide, the sort of guidance, unbiased guidance we provide. And after spending some time, if you find value in the educational content and guidance we provide, you can pay the full fees. Now, you might be wondering as to why we are coming up with this opportunity, even though Fanatics is at its peak with respect to the performance of its students in actual exams as well as their professional career. The reason is simple. You will not see us extensively marketing over social media, be it through Insta Reels, YouTube Shorts, or other various ways. You will not see us coming up with new batches on a regular basis or flexing the number of students we have and outrightly ignoring the proportion of students who clear the exams or who even continue with their journey. Being in the education industry, we make a conscious effort to channelize majority, if not all, of our energy and time towards ensuring that students are having a proper learning journey, not just spoon feeding them everything so that they might get certain favorable results in the short term, but by ensuring to make them independent, capable of working independently, even in our absence, and therefore succeeding both in their personal and professional journey in the long run. Do note that we continue to have one single batch for each paper each term to ensure that all our students are getting sufficient time from the faculty. Do keep in mind that at Fanatics, it is the main faculty, be it Gunjan or me, who are involved in taking the classes, doubt clearing, or any sort of guidance or any sort of assistance which the students require in the preparation of their actual exams. As such, we will restrict the number of intakes to 50 for each of the papers. In case you are already studying from us and you are happy with the way we go about with our classes, continue to study from us. For ones who have not studied from us but who are looking forward, this is the best chance for you all to join us, experience how we go about with our classes. If you are a sincere and hardworking student who wants to excel in your actual career, do join Fanatics today for a meaningful, impactful, and wonderful learning experience.
Hi everyone. So in this video, we shall be discussing the indicative solutions for CM2 A for IAI May 2024 session. So first, let you all know the objective of this particular video because it's slightly different from the IFA solutions discussion video. So IFA releases its examiner report or the solutions post declaration of the results, which is around 10 weeks post the completion of exams. So students who are not sure about how the examination went, whether they'll clear the paper or not, some of them end up waiting for the results to start preparing for the next paper, which in my opinion is absolute waste of time. Whether they want to start their preparation late is a different thing, but starting late because they're not sure about the results, it doesn't make sense because obviously there would be some lag in the results post completion of exams unless they are completely MCQ based, where one might, in future point of time get results immediately. So with IA, that is not the case. In the last term, as well as I'm expecting in this term, they would release the indicative solutions. So maybe, latest by next weekend, we should get the indicative solutions available from IA. So now you might wonder then what's the possible reason for me to come up with this video. So it's twofold. One, it allows me to practice the questions, stay in touch with the subject, and at the same time, because I have computed and got a rough estimate of the answers, I can compare it again with what IA has provided in their solutions, so that just in case there are any possible errors there, it is something I can report to IA so that they can consider it and rectify if at all needed. Like in the last term, there were certain errors in the subject when we highlighted that to II, and other students also highlighted to them. They did incorporate that, and they released the corrected indicative solutions. Second thing is for students preparing for CM2 in future, they'll have a reference to take a look at this particular session's paper where I would be discussing not all questions but certain questions which were especially difficult or tricky, so that might help them in the preparation as well. My main intention of these videos is just to give students a rough estimate on how much marks they could score, rather than having to wait right up the results. Apart from that, once you're studying from us, they can come and ask doubts at any point of time, but ones who might be studying independently or maybe in certain other institutes, for them also these videos could be helpful to get an understanding as how we can go about a particular question, how we can tackle it, is there any shortcut to it, a more efficient way of calculating the same thing, and so on. So my intention going forward is to on a regular basis release the indicative solutions for II as well. So before we get started with the discussion of the paper, would just ask you all to subscribe to this channel as well so that you all are updated regarding any educational content we release. And in case you find this video helpful, do definitely like it and share it among your peers as well who might have sat for CM2. So before getting let's get started now. The first question is, how did I find this paper? I will say it was a fair paper, not very difficult, not very easy. Maybe one or two parts that came, students might have taken a bit aback because those not have not been tested for a long time. It might be too much of theory for them to memorize. But other than that, it was pretty fine. I really didn't get much time to solve this paper. Spent maybe 55 minutes or so in solving it. So there might be several calculation errors, maybe. So do let me know in case you find any errors, calculation or conceptual, through comment section. I'll definitely take a look into it. And in case there is a merit, I'll push in the rectifications through comments section as well. The answer key for MCQs would be there in the comments section itself. I might be discussing a couple of them, the ones which were slightly different or were a bit tricky in nature. Rest, for detailed thing, I mean, it's covered there in our classes itself. Or in case you want to get into the detail, you might ask, feel free to ask through the comments section as well. So getting started with the first one, again, this is a question which has been tested previously as well. Question number two. Now, this is something it took me some time because it has been long time where I have kind of memorized these definitions. So I did check and I've put in the what options I feel to be correct. I will say I'm not 100% sure of this question given the wordings of the question. So I'm also thinking to take a look into it later when I have more time, or maybe let's say once the solutions are out, that might give me a good proxy to see what exact answer is. Question three, a standard one from efficient market hypothesis, nothing different. Question four, also pretty much straightforward. Question five, now on this, when I was calculating the price, it was coming out as 101.1 something. I don't remember correctly. So maybe till one decimal place, this looks fine. But till two decimal place, that might not be the case. But I've gone on and selected option A to be correct over here. So over here, if I remember correctly, I guess both A and B were correct. But yeah, you can just check in. Yeah, it should be both A and B should be correct that way. Question six also pretty straightforward. Question seven, straightforward again. Question eight again from Ruin theory, pretty straightforward. Question nine, which of the following factors are ignored? So, skewness and kurtosis are something which are not considered in modern portfolio theory. Then, rho, theta, lambda, again, very straightforward question. Question number 11, it's a submartingale. Submartingale means that the future expected value must be greater than equal to the current value. So that happens only in the case when P is zero point 0.6 or 0.65. R, it's again a standard definition over here. Question number 13, which of the following behaviors of insured policyholders and adverse selection. So I guess that should be A. B and C is more like moral hazard. 14 also pretty straightforward over here. Question 15, again, mean reversion, momentum effect. These means that the future returns are not independent of past, whereas the log normal assumptions implies that the returns in future time period is independent of the past. Question 16, again, this has been, this has comes a couple of times in the past IA papers itself, using the usual methodology itself. Question 17, again, fairly straightforward from BF method, so not going into it. Now let's begin with question 18. Now this was the part 2 and 3. This is basically the derivation of five-step method, kind of. If I remember correctly, I sat for my CT8 exam in September 2017 from IA, and that term also they, did give this question, although not of this magnitude of marks, but if I remember correctly, it was derivation of five-step method only. So part 2 and 3 is kind of bookwork. Part 1 is also, it's there, maybe slightly represented differently in math. So I have done the solution for you all to refer to it. So this is question 18. Moving to question 19, utility theory. I mean, I guess almost all the papers, if I remember correctly, from IFA or II in recent past have got a question from utility theory, and I would say it's a very scoring chapter in general. So quickly take a look through at this solution. I mean, a similar question like this there in the material as well. This is the expected utility function. Next, we need to differentiate with respect to x, and so on. On solving, I'm getting investment in A as 600 and in B as 400. So moving forward to the next question, question number 20. Again, a similar question like this has been tested in the past. So this is the x value at time 1, so on. Now keep in mind, if nothing is mentioned by default, your metric of VAR is for profit or loss. I mean, it's for return and not for the absolute value. And that is the convention I've used. So VR is minus t, probability x less than t. This is t. So now over here, I'm computing the return part only, not the absolute value. And therefore, I'm getting it to be 7166.9. Unexpected payoff, it's coming out to be 1,07,484.46. And in part 3, shortfall is 0 and its PR is 8,000. Next, moving forward to question 21, a very straightforward, rather one, a very scoring, part 2, 6 marks. I guess it took me 1.5 minutes or 2 minutes to, solve. Again, had I been solving in the exam, it would have taken me at least 4 5 minutes to properly structure and, write down the comments or in words, but yeah, it was fairly straightforward. Part 1 is direct bookwork itself. So this is question 2. In case you find any calculation errors, again, please definitely let me know. So found the ultimate liability, which is 2218.1. The paid amount is 1,000. Therefore, the outstanding reserves will be 2,218.1 minus 1,000. Next, question 22. Now, this question has been tested in a past year IFA paper twice. One was recently, I'm not sure whether it was this April setting or last September setting, and it had been there in a couple of years back as well. I guess I had highlighted this. Yes, CT8, IFOA CT8 April 2010, question 7 of that particular question paper. So this is ST, this is DT. I've shown how to find DST. Similarly, you can find DDT. Now, I can convert this into equivalent Martingale measure under which, the drift should be equal. Equating this, I'm getting CS point, excuse me, 875. Finally, last question, 23. This one was, finding the value of C is equivalent. And then question number 23, again, a very typical question from CAPM, I would say. Asset 1 is the risk-free asset because the returns are same under all the states. And then your market capitalization is 20,000 and 80,000 for risky assets. So percent in asset 2 is 20% and asset 3 it's 80%. We ignore the market cap of the risk-free asset. So these are the calculations. Let me maybe just zoom it to you all. So my expectation is coming out, market price of risk is coming out to be 1.6854. So I hope you all found this video useful. Thanks everyone for your time.